everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and I have another video to make based on my last video that said this lady is successfully doing high density, ultra high density growing without even pruning her trees. And I got a lot of comments and I want to discuss that because I do not have a problem with high density growing. My problem is you got to do it with wisdom. You got to do it in a smart way. So let me give you this example. So I'm growing these trees too close together. These trees are 10 feet apart. And as these trees are 10 feet apart, for a while they'll grow up and they'll be okay. However, in my last video I showed a lady who was growing her trees 8 feet apart in a triangle. But what she did is, the tree still had 3 sides to the tree where it can get mangoes. And it had here 3 sides of the tree where it can get mangoes. And if I planted another tree here, 3 sides of a tree where it can get mangoes. So the only part that's going to struggle with getting mangoes because she planted it too close would be the middle part. The part where enough sunlight was not getting in, where the tree was intertwining. And that's exactly what happened on that video. So her trees were humongous. And even though she's losing mangoes in the middle of the tree, on the 3 sides of the outside of the tree, she was getting a tremendous amount of mangoes. And she let her trees grow really tall, which I don't recommend because you're not going to be eating the mangoes up top. The birds will be eating it. They'll be falling and smashing on the ground. But if you keep a tree to decent size and you want to grow close, you need to make sure 3 sides of the tree are open. This was the problem I had with my friend Bobby when I went to his house, is all 4 sides of the tree was surrounded by other trees real close, and when they grow they're not going to have a chance to grow. So I recently took some trees out over here. So point being is, I recently took out some trees here. That's one tree I have, and then 10 feet away over there I had another tree right here. This I recently put a banana tree in, but then another 10 feet was there. So that was 10 feet between each tree. Now I also had another tree right here. So what I was doing in essence is, when this tree grows, bam. When this tree grows, bam. When this tree grows, bam. And when that tree grows, bam. Now, if I would have kept that tree there, the only side of the tree that would have gotten mangoes was right over the fence there. My neighbors would have enjoyed the only mangoes I could have gotten off that tree. So that would not have worked. Now, let's take a look at this tree here. If I left that tree there that I had, it was an 015. If that tree would have grown, it would have intertwined with this side of the tree, wouldn't have got mangoes on this side. If I left the Namduk Mai tree I had here, this side would have grown, it wouldn't have got this side. The other 2 sides of the tree would have gotten mangoes again, mostly my neighbor's side, so that wasn't working for me. I want mangoes on this side. Okay, so this can work. So let's take another look at this situation. I want to explain this to you because ultra density could work if you do it this way. So now, here, so these 2 trees are together. Let's take this tree for an example. This is an orange essence, okay? The middle here is going to grow too tall. I mean, too intertwined. But this here, you're going to get mangoes on this side, you're going to get mangoes on that side, and the previous side, because there's no other trees around it on 3 sides. So you're going to end up getting mangoes on 3 sides. Even though this is 10 feet apart, it's fine. Now, if I would have left the tree that I had here, now I'm blocking this side of the tree as well, that side of the tree, and if I left the tree that I had here and this side of the tree, and the only side of the tree that I would get mangoes was the opposite side, I still would have gotten mangoes. It still could have worked. But I wanted to open up them some more so I get more mangoes off the tree. Now, let me show you this here. Another thing where it could work. And this is what Alex at Tropical Acres recommends. He planted his trees 8 feet apart with the goal, after about 6 or 7 years, of taking out the middle tree. And then ultimately 16 feet would be ultimate space. I'm in full agreement with him. And the reason he does that was he doesn't want to waste the space in the middle. So, if I would have left my tree there in the middle, I would have got mangoes off that tree for the next 4 or 5 years that I could have enjoyed. And then, when these trees got too big, take the middle one out. So you're still getting 4 or 5 years of a tremendous amount of mangoes that you wouldn't get otherwise. I don't disagree with that idea. I like that idea. I even struggle with maybe taking this banana out and putting a mango tree here just for that idea alone. I think that's an excellent idea. Same thing with the Namduk Mai tree that I took out that was over here. I could put a tree here, or I should have kept, or could have kept that Namduk Mai tree, and I could have gotten mangoes on these 3 sides for quite a while until I wanted to open up some more room on that one. I could have kept the tree here. I still might put a tree back here because now without a tree there in the middle, I'll still get mangoes on this side here. But that one's going to create the problem because those are going to intertwine. So maybe I won't do that. But that's my point. Let's walk a little further and see, and let me show you. So what I did do since was, and we live and we learn sometimes, this is my sunrise. This tree's going to get really big. Over here, I had a pina colada. I wasn't liking the pina colada in general. I know they didn't taste good this year, but I still could have left that in. These are 20 feet apart. I could have left that in for 10 feet apart and still enjoyed mangoes for a couple of years. To my disappointment, I didn't like the pina colada mangoes. I could have top worked it even and got mangoes sooner. But I put, since then, a temporary tree here that I know I'm going to eventually get rid of. But at least I'll be able to get mangoes for a couple of years on it until those other trees get big. Because the space looks big right now, but this space will close up. And even though it's 20 feet, right now I can get away with that for 5 years or so. But in the long run, something's going to come out. So to Alex's at Tropical Acres Farms idea, a temporary tree I put there. So as we come along here, another great example. This is my dot tree. Get mangoes on 3 sides. That is my Seacrest tree. Get mangoes on 3 sides. Even though they're too close. So now, if I would have left that tree here, I would have had the same situation that we were just talking about. Now, another situation, a temporary tree that I just recently put there. That one was a Kathy, and I recently put here a fruit punch temporarily. Same exact situation. I could have left the Kathy there, I would have got, but just because the way I structured these trees and the way I put them, not the best place for a tree, but temporarily to work. I'm not going to keep that tree long term anyway. So then this tree here, this was where my Bailey's Marble was. Bailey's Marble is a tremendous tree. And it wouldn't have worked. I have the wires up here. It wouldn't have worked here, but it would have took up this whole area, affecting all these other trees. I had a second tree laying around, so I put it here, and it's a temporary tree. I'll be able to move it later on. Then I had another space here that a long time ago I took a tree out of this area because 2 of my favorite trees, my White Paris and my Super Alfonso, definitely going to close up this area fast because I got my Phoenix tree here. My goal is to give the trees, keep them as close together, but give them as much room as possible. Now, if I would have did what this lady did in this last recent episode, I could have planted just 3 trees here, let them grow, and not worry about the middle, and got a good amount of mangoes off each side. This is a tree I haven't taken out yet that I'm contemplating I'm going to have to take out. This is, I even forget the name right now. But this is a tree right here, 10 feet apart, 10 feet apart, 10 feet apart. I want to keep that tree. That's a buttercream, that's what it is. I want to keep that tree. This one has always been a temporary tree. This is my buttercream, which will eventually go. I had Edward behind there that I recently took out, but here we go again. That tree, and that tree, and that tree. So these are going to grow into each other. Once I get rid of that tree has a tremendous amount of enough room long term, even though I'm not going to let them get too high or too big. And that tree will have enough room, even though I'm not going to let it get too high or too big. But when this Phoenix tree here grows, it's going to limit that buttercream to only get fruit on that one side behind it, which still may be good for a few buttercream, but because I took that Edward out that was behind it, it's going to work. Now, I want to give you one more example here. So, this is a fruit cocktail, love that tree. This is a cotton candy, love that tree. They're 10 feet apart. It can work because on that fruit cocktail on the other side, there's no trees, more than enough room to get mangoes on at least 2 sides, 3 sides of that tree. Same thing here, that's just a sugar apple, so this cotton candy is going to be okay. I had a Glen here. I don't like Glen. I could have kept the tree there according to the way Alex does it, and eventually taken it out and had it as a temporary tree. But I took it out. I have a banana growing there. What I recently did was trying to think about this. I had a big space here, a big empty space. I put a temporary banana there. All my bananas are temporary. But here you can see in the background the situation where the trees are way too close. And I did this kind of on purpose. So this is a Pickering tree that's going to stay small. And that was a Neelam tree that I moved from another property. And that's just a seedling. If the seedling's good, I'll go ahead and I'll put it on another tree. But it's just there for the meantime. I'm going to take that out. That's going to stay small, and we'll see how those are. But I wanted to get this tree in the ground. I had no room. This was an apricot tree. So my goal here is, and I'm always thinking about how to do these trees. Somebody said I have ADD with trees. I don't think so, but I'm always thinking about these. I could have planted a temporary tree there, but I don't want this apricot to be a temporary tree. So with my goal being is that Pickering, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I like that it's small, and this tree here, this seedling, are going to be my temporary trees because they're too far towards the back to begin with. That apricot, if it grows nice there, is going to become my permanent tree, giving me, I got about 13 feet from this fruit cocktail, and then I got way more room for this other tree, a perfect area for a tree right here. So that's what I'm doing there. And then coming on over here, that's a seedling tree that I put some grafts on. We'll see if they take. But this is the drain field right here. So I didn't want to plant anything in the drain field. And I was debating if I should plant another mango tree right here. But it's kind of close to the drain field. So I put some dwarf bananas in. I'm not a big fan of the bananas because they grow too high and they create a problem to get. But those are dwarf banana trees. So we'll have those there just to fill up that space in the meantime. One other thing I want to show you, Alex at Tropical Acres Farms always says it's best to plant trees, or a good idea to plant trees as small as possible, even 1 gallon, maybe 3 gallons, so they get adjusted to being in the ground quicker, and eventually they'll catch up to other trees. This tree was planted as a 3-gallon tree. It's an ST Maui. Actually, it might have been 1 gallon. And it's growing fast. It just took off recently. It's growing fast. It's catching up to the other trees that were planted at 7 and 15 gallons. And it's going to grow up to be a beautiful tree in a beautiful spot. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's happening here. The trees are looking wonderful. I'm going to show you one more here example of a ST Maui. I'm sorry, of a Ceci Love. This Ceci Love was planted like a 1 gallon. That banana I took out, it keeps growing back. I got to do something with it. But this Ceci Love was in the ground real small, and it's taking off now. Looking really great. So just plant the tree small. I wouldn't buy big trees. I'd plant them small. You're going to get mangoes. All right, everybody. So I just wanted to give you all an update because on that last video, some of you said, oh, Bobby was right that we can plant ultra high density. There's a way to do it. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And if you're going to do it, make sure you do it the right way. And you're leaving yourself 3 sides of the tree where you're going to get mangoes. Because if you do it and you don't leave yourself to 3 sides, you're going to ultimately run into an issue. And even with the trees, so when a tree's growing, you can leave it like a bush, or you can let it grow taller and cut out the bottom so you could walk under the trees. That's another topic, but I want to leave this area for like a carport, where pulling cars. So these trees are going to grow higher where you can drive under them. So they're not necessarily going to be like a bush, but ultimately I want to leave trees smaller like a bush so I could pick the trees off or pick the mangoes off. So that's just a little update on the yard here and what's happening. And I got a lot of great things going on. I'm so excited about growing trees. And again, it's not mango tree ADD or anything like that. It's just playing around and just checking it out and see what I'm growing and seeing how it's going. And that's what we got to do. So yeah, I got a lot of good ideas, a lot of good videos coming up, and I thank you for watching. Put your comments, questions below. I'd love to see how your trees are working out for you. So if you have trees that you're growing, you have questions, you'd like me to come out and film your yard, just contact me at the link below, and we will make it happen. I'll come on out, especially if you're in South Florida. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day, and keep growing.